Hello and welcome to What the Hell Did I Just Watch? My name is Lucky Chloe and this will be my first movie discussion video. And I will start this video by saying that Always a Bridesmaid is one of the laziest damn movies I have ever seen. Always a Bridesmaid is a movie about 29-year-old Karina. She's been to 13 weddings and only been a bridesmaid in each. She's always felt lonely. She longs for love but feels she will only ever be a bridesmaid, that she will never find true love. That all changes, however, when she meets Mark, who reshapes her idea of love and opens her heart. Is the story I think this film is trying to tell? Does it? No. This movie is just lazy. I came into Netflix hoping to find a nice movie, one that was humorous, fun and heartwarming, or if not that, at least a good movie. This was none of those things. It has no compelling narrative, the script and dialogue are both written poorly, it has an unpleasant, flat main character, and the humour is dry as hell. This movie might be one of the worst I've ever seen, and I've seen some shockers. There were many times in the movie that I will discuss later, spoilers ahead, that made no sense. After a dreaded hour and a half, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought other people had to be mad about this too, but I was wrong. The reviews don't seem to have any form of logic. It confuses and disappoints me how low our standards seem to have fallen. Did we watch the same movie? It's shocking that people will overlook how poor this movie is just because the love interest is fine. Seriously? It was that lip bite, wasn't it? For the love of God, a hot love interest is not enough reason to stand a bad movie. People have made essays on this and we just don't seem to listen. And now let's talk about the characters. A core problem is Karina's personality, which we need to talk about. In movies such as this, you need a warm character, one that is interesting, pleasant, and you're curious about. This may be done by giving her personality traits, such as kindness, a good sense of humour, or maybe a will to help others or innocence. This film missed that memo. What we got was a cold-hearted, snobbish woman who was lukewarm to the idea of love and looked down on everyone, including her friends. I didn't appreciate the spoilt princess attitude and general rudeness to everyone she interacted with. They didn't give her a personality, and nothing she does is consistent other than looking down on people. I could have overlooked this, however, if they'd at least given her traces of a likeable persona. Had they made her funny, or shown her opening up to at least one of her friends, I could have had a softer opinion of her. Showing her hug everyone super enthusiastically does not count. This is how she greets everyone, only to be super gloomy in the following conversation. Also, the wardrobe choice in this movie is questionable. Now, it is to be noted that nothing in this video is anything to do with the actress. She's a lovely woman. It's the character and direction here that I'm criticising, and the two are not to be confused. In terms of supporting characters, the friends were either super positive, loud, or cardboard cutouts of actual people. Still though, her friends were miles way more interesting and charismatic than she is. I would love to watch a movie on these two. Her friends seem to play a shallow role of either showcasing their relationships to Karina, or flirting with Karina, or giving advice to Karina. None of them are really characters other than to service her. The guy they created just for us to hate, I ended up liking more than the main character. He was hilarious. I'm not going to trash this movie. It would be a lie for me to say that there's nothing good about it, and so I will mention on the occasion that I find elements that are good. All the wedding scenes were stunning, and they did a great job in the character introductions in the movie's beginning, but they didn't carry the same energy throughout the story. With that said, let's dissect the plot. The film does a good job in opening the movie and setting up Karina's life. We see that she lives alone, she has amazing friends, a promising job, and conflict with her father. She frequently attends weddings and has a great and available support system. She is highly educated and somewhat interesting at the start, and I was excited to see where these plot points would go. Unfortunately, they are not addressed. I had to Google later that she works as a copywriter, and she mentions a few times that she is writing a book, but we are told nothing about it. I get what they were trying to go for in terms of secrecy, but with how little it's mentioned, they failed to put the point across that it's important. We learn that she's planning to work somewhere else and leave her father's company, despite many around her advising against it. While I could understand someone not wanting to be under their father forever and branch out to find freedom, she barely discusses this and instead yells at her dad for cheating on her mother. This scene was wholly unnecessary and inappropriate. It was their marriage, not hers. In terms of want as a character, they didn't make it clear. What does she want to be? Is she tired of being single? Is she looking for love? Does she not care? Her attitude about all of this was indifferent. We never see her looking for a partner, on dating sites, or even looking in the direction of men. But then she tells us that she's tired of being a bridesmaid. Do you want a man or not, Karina? Do you want anything? Actually, I don't think she does want anything. They don't show her having any form of pursuit or hobby. I can appreciate a down-to-earth character, but not one who seems to have little interest for anything. This guy was a better character. I want the film on him. When she meets Mark and the two apparently hit it off, I don't feel invested. I'm curious to see how it goes, but I don't think this character is ready for romance or a relationship. Why? Because she's never expressed an interest in one. She only met this guy because her friend signed her up on a dating site. The relationship between her and Mark is plot-driven rather than character-driven, and because of this, Karina doesn't grow. If you want tips on how to start a relationship in the most unnatural and forced way possible, watch this movie. They didn't come together naturally at all. I didn't appreciate how this man kept appearing out of nowhere. I'm assuming it didn't bother anyone else, how he just happened to be where she was all the time. I suppose his fade was so fresh, this probably didn't faze the female audience, who I'm assuming were these films' only viewers. Does this lady not lock her door? FYI, showing up uninvited at people's homes to force them to spend time with you is not the start of a healthy relationship. They go on a date and she tells them that she's writing a book. We are not told anything about it, just that it's good. Intriguing. Great way to lay on the mystery there, screenwriter. There's not even an ounce of passion on her face when she talks about it. She even introduces him to her friends after maybe one day of dating and talks about how he's changed her life, that she might be in love with him. Huh? Did you not just meet him? I mean, come on. How are you so love-struck already? So you do want the man now. Do you really want him, or is it because the plot threw him into you? I guess we'll never know. Following this, and after a montage of romantic scenes, dates, and the most forced kiss I have ever seen, they are now a thing. Yay! The character must have learnt so much. Maybe she's developed as a character. Maybe now she is deaf, or we get to see more sides of her. No. Clearly the character was never even thinking of marriage, because when her boyfriend does propose, her boyfriend of around 6 months, she gets all stiff and confused as if she's never heard the word marriage before. Marriage? What is that? This is the big problem that stuck with me. It was a huge gaping plot hole. If you are writing a book called Always a Bridesmaid, isn't that supposed to hint that you want to be a bride? Or something you'd at least thought about? Why in the hell would you make a movie about a woman who's tired of always being the bridesmaid, but drop no hints to the audience that the character herself has a problem with this at all? That's one of my biggest issues. Karina doesn't belong here. In this kind of movie, you need a character that is looking for, or at least open to the idea of love. That way we can have a character-driven plot, where we get to watch them grow and develop as a person, and go through different stages. Instead, they wrote a movie about a woman who is tired of being a bridesmaid, wants to be a bride, and inserted Karina, a woman who couldn't care less. Listen to her reasoning for rejecting the proposal.
Why do you want to marry me? Plus, I am indecisive. I'm neurotic. I've got family baggage that could feel a little hair.
Hey.
Following his rejection and breakup, this man's first thought is not to call his mum, his friends, or even a sibling, but his ex. His ex. He asks her why they didn't last and why it ended, and she replies,
I didn't think that we had found it.
The phone call seemed inappropriate here. I felt like it was the movie's attempt at trying to make him a person rather than a generic love interest, but it didn't work. It was just weird. Later on, after the death of her goldfish, the best scene in the movie by the way, Karina decides that she does in fact need a man. That, or her closest chance of getting a man, is about to cut his losses and move on to a much better town to meet a much better woman. Karina shows up at his house and tells him she made a mistake. She shouts at him, he's reluctant at first, but then she starts screaming and they basically get back together. This scene as well was pretty difficult to watch. It was meant to be heartwarming, but it read to me that Karina bullied him back into the relationship. Look at this man's face. Does he look happy to you? Really? Now, let's hope he chooses the right option. Maybe they get to know each other better, or grow as people first. Maybe he'll give Karina time to decide what she really wants. Oh, and by the way, she revealed at the end of the movie that her book is called Always a Bridesmaid. Ta-da! Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Movie done. What was that? Where's the resolving conflict? What is her book even about? She just gets back with him with little to no hesitation? Does she learn anything? Does she apologise to her father for being a brat? Does she even want to be a wife? She just gets married like that? Does his ex attend the wedding? Everything in this movie was either lazy, half-assed, or half thought through. I actually could not believe what I had just watched. It was just a mess. I wasn't emotionally invested with anyone, the script was lazy, and this movie sucked. Enough that I had to discuss it. I cannot think of one single part that spoke to me.
Just a good fish.
Okay, I'll take it back. This film's amazing. 10 out of 10. Now, as we are at the end of the video, all I can say is, BET, please do better. I know you can, and we as people have got to stop lying when a film is bad. I'm not saying there was nothing good about it, I'm just saying I saw a lot of laziness. A black protagonist is a good start, but it's not enough. We need to remember to have a layered black protagonist, one with clear motivations and goals, strengths and weaknesses. They need to be real people. Only then can we have memorable movies that hit mainstream. So, what did you think of Always a Bridesmaid? Did you think it was a good movie? Did you agree with what I said? Did you disagree? Let me know, I'm very interested to hear. Drop whatever you thought of the movie in the comments. Alright, bye, see you until the next one.